All right, welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of Vinny Presents. I am your host, Vinny from South Philly, and today we have actor Larry DiBartolomeo from Cleveland. I have a lot of good friends out there, so it's always a pleasure to have another paisan from Cleveland. Larry, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Well, thanks for the opportunity, Vinny. I'm glad to be here.
Great. So let's get started with some questions. Want to give you. We're not going to put the lamp on you and give you too many questions, but we'll give you some fun questions. So, Larry, what got you started as being an actor? Tell us a little bit about some of the things that got you to where you are right now.
Well, yeah. I started acting about 10 years ago. My background was in sports. I played a lot of sports in high school, college, and afterwards had an injury in high school. I broke my foot off in 10th grade, and he told me to never walk again. So I wanted to get back on the football field. So I ended up playing, football all through high school, and then I got a scholarship to college. And then played 19 seasons of minor league football after college. I quit at age 40. I was about 275 back then. I'm about 235 now. But still, gravity has affected everything. So, taught me a lot, and afterwards I played basketball in 3 leagues until I was 60, 35 and over leagues. I needed something to do. So I couldn't play sports anymore, but because my body said we're not doing that anymore, and that's why I got into acting. Last time I had acted, other than 10 years ago, was my senior class play in 1967. And You Get Your Gun. I was Foster Wilson, but one of my friends of mine wrote a movie, and I got asked to be an extra in his trailer, and so I went there for 2 days, and I met Tony Sirico and Bobby Costanza. And I spent 2 days with them. Um, Great guys. We had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. We were down in Little Italy because we filmed that at Angelo's Nita Italia. So 2 days with that, and I was talking to Tony quite a bit about acting, and he said, you ought to pursue that. So one of my other buddies, Dennis Castiglione, said, "Come on, we're going to go on this other shoot." So I went. I ended up getting a little part. The movie came out, was no big deal, but he got me a little bit connected. And then Jason Klingon-Smith here in Cleveland, he does a lot of shorts, TKF, and he gave me an opportunity, to do some shorts with him. So I probably did 10 or 12 with him, and I enjoyed, I enjoyed that. So then after that, I started using some of my marketing skills. I've been in the investment business, wealth management since 1971 when I got out of college, and I know how to market. So I just started doing marketing for myself, trying to get into different situations. I am connected with several talent groups that, send out information. I'm also on Actors Access and Backstage and all that stuff. So I'm getting some stuff with that. And then really kind of connecting with the Cleveland market, trying to interface and go to the mixers and, kind of mingle with everybody and just get a handle on kind of who I am and who they are and, how we can fit. So, you know, basically I've been doing some things. I got an opportunity. I was out in Burbank last July. We did a film called Don't Say It with Rich Grosso, who I met on that one movie that I did that my friend wrote. And I was in his movie, and we did that. That's going to come to Cleveland as premiere probably this summer. I do have a premiere coming out this 18th of April called Bite. It's a horror movie, and that will be on Tubi. And also have another movie on Tubi right now, Slew Out. It's another horror kind of movie that's uh, that's on already streaming. It's the second most watched movie on Tubi as of right now. Um, I'm in two series that are on web series. One is called The Connected. Matter of fact, I just did a scene yesterday, and the other one that I kind of like is called Holy Driver. And episode or season one, I should say, is on Tubi as well. I came into the play in episode four, so I got started. I play I play a Don in Cleveland that is laundering money from the Pittsburgh Rackets. It's a very interesting storyline. The other storyline of it is that we're going after pedophile priests. So it's interesting. It's got a lot of. It's not your typical, but it's interesting about the history of how to go after these pedophiles and that.
Great.
I,
So let's go back. You mentioned you worked with Tony Sirico, God rest his soul, and Bobby Costanza. I
yeah,
have met Bobby Costanza many years ago through my buddy Sal. They're mutual friends there. So, and he was a great guy. We hung out a few nights, and I really like Bobby Costanza a lot. And he's still at it. He's still out there going strong. But tell us about the experience with those two individuals.
well, we sat around, not sat around, but we were for 2 days, and there was a big scene at this table, and Tony Sirico was at, and we did some other filming. Some actually, a lot of those actors never got into the movie, but that was just a concept trailer that was done. But I just enjoyed talking to him. Tony was a fun guy to talk to, but he's kind of gruff at times. He just tell it like it is, and that's the way it was. And I enjoyed that, and they stimulated my interest. Trying to get into the acting arena.
So you basically caught the bug like we all do at some point. Once you get on that set, one fashion or another, it's hard to just do it one and done. You got to go back.
Right. Recently, I mentioned to you when we talked before. I did a short. It was called The Bushers, an Alzheimer's story, and the girl that wrote it, she directed it, and we were by her house and did it. It was very, very low budget. It was her senior class project. Chanel Bush at Cleveland State, and so she asked me and another lady to do the acting. Well, I didn't, I never met her. I never, I knew of the other actor, Mary Factor, but I never met her. So we were there that one day. We went 10 o'clock and went through the script and everything. And I came home totally exhausted. My wife says, "What's the matter with you?" I said, "It's just the script. The girl that wrote it was about her grandparents, and she's crying, and we're emotional. And Mary and I really got into the whole situation. And you put yourself in, like I'm taking Meisner classes. You don't think, you just do. And we did that, and I was exhausted. My wife said, "What's the matter?" So we did that. Ended up, it's won a few awards in Cleveland, but I was very fortunate that it was submitted to the New York City and State Film Festival last July. And I believe in Staten Island, I believe there was 50 or 60 films submitted. I guess they showed 12. And I won Best Actor, which kind of blew me away on something that just came out of nowhere. But I guess that's how it works in this industry. Sometimes you just never know. That's like a nice trophy that I have, and it means a lot to me. That was my first one.
That's fantastic. You go from the gridiron to under the lights and camera, and
Yeah,
you're still trophies. Go for you.
yeah, yeah. Still getting the trophies. Yeah, and the acting didn't. It came pretty natural to me. I in the investment business, I do a lot of seminars and CE classes, so I'm accustomed. I do a lot of work with independent pharmacists across the country through Cardinal Health, and quite frankly, I give CE classes to 200 individuals. So that really doesn't bother me. And, I get excited when I get up there and start, trying to get through the process and, the presentation.
And Larry, you're a wonderful example of how you can have a day job. Let's say you can do uh, things that pay your bills, but as well as on the side, you do your movies, you have your little acting. Some people make it full time, some people make it part time, but it is possible to juggle those two things and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, it is. It's been kind of active the last couple months. I did 3 auditions yesterday, and then one last week. And I just finished up a commercial that I did for an apartment complex, which those are kind of nice. You don't say anything, but you're just there doing motions, which is good. Expressions and that. And those have been fun. I met some good people on those shoots as well down in Columbus and down Cincinnati area, and then I was up to Detroit for a couple commercials up there. So, yeah, it's just I'm trying to do the gamut. I'm trying to get as much as possible, but going to have to start whittling down where exactly I want, my niche to be, and not running around. And, I did some background 2 years ago with a few movies. I was White Boy Rick, and I was in Sweet Girl, and I was with what's it called, White Wheat right now, and let's see, there's a few other ones. I See You. So, those are good. I met some good people, and just kind of visualizing what's going on, and how to take everything in and kind of convert that into my being. That's when in sales management, you talk, take take what the client's saying and turn it around and into their terms, and that's what you got to really do in acting. And I'm enjoying the Meisner classes that I'm taking with Hood. Those have been good. I've been taking those for 3 months, and it's something to get used to, but I'm enjoying it. I'm going to continue that for a while. I took some classes with Shannon Yancerek out in California a couple years ago. That was 10 3-hour classes. So that was pretty much on improv in that.
Yeah, and those with those classes too, you realize that and then when you start to act and you start to get in different roles, you also learn a lot about life too. You learn a lot about emotions, you learn a lot about discipline. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great to get started at any age with acting courses, because you do learn not just about the craft, but you learn a lot about yourself and about life.
Exactly. Yeah. My toughest thing is trying to memorize lines now at my age. So it's,
It's good to improvise though.
huh? No, it was good.
Good to have
We
the
did a
hood.
lot of improvisation yesterday on set because I got my lines and I got my sides at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we filmed at 4, so that was fun.
Yeah,
But
they did that on purpose.
huh?
They
Yeah,
do it
that
on
was
purpose sides at the last minute. But that's it all depends who you're working with. Obviously, you know that the director and what kind of system they like. And some people are more will let you have free reign and do improvisational. Some people really want to stick to the script. Me,
exactly.
I like to kind of have the ability to do both. But going back to what you said earlier, yeah, traveling is a hassle. A lot of times people call me from like Florida, Baltimore, and it's just not possible sometimes. Sometimes it is, but that's part of what comes part of the gig, as they say when it comes to acting.
Right. And traveling doesn't matter, just if it's going to be compensated or whatever else, and if you got to fit into the timing. As like I said, I'm working full time, but I'm not working full time, not like I used to pre-COVID. COVID kind of changed everything, and people aren't
Absolutely.
going people aren't going in the office as much. And then on my business, I can do a lot of my stuff on the computer, with the
Yeah, technology, thankfully, is a beautiful thing in most regards. Not all the time, but in most regards, it is. Larry, what's ahead for us? What are you seeing in the future for yourself?
Well, I'm just trying to get deeper into identifying myself. I had a photo shoot, and two talent agencies. Um, they're not agents, but agencies. They said that I've been doing a lot of mafia kind of stuff, or those type of roles, but they also made me do some shots as a grandfather. So I took a whole different look and genre in some of those shots. And quite frankly, they were right, because I got two bookings off of those, and those are both 5-figure bookings, so 4-figure, I should say, $1,000, which is good, for 3 hours to go somewhere. And, so that's something. So I got to kind of look at the whole spectrum of where I'm at. Although I want to do the one, the other one is good as well, and I'm enjoying that. So, like, we did that apartment shoot 2 weeks ago, and I had a ball. We were there all day, and I met some nice people, and that's what's good about this. You just miss just a vast amount of people. That's what I like playing football. All those years, 19 years of playing football, I can't begin to tell you how many individuals I met, how many relations I met, and football is a game that you're leaning on your the guy next to you. I played offensive line. I was a left guard, so it was important that I knew what the center was doing and I knew what the left tackle was doing. And the same thing in acting. You got to feel that person with you, next to you, and get into the moment, get into the scene. Not yourself, but who that character is that you're playing.
Yeah, in your early experiences on the field, it's funny how life's very ironic. I always say that, but it's served you well in regards to the principles involved with filmmaking, right? With teamwork, with discipline, with being able to think on a split second, and being able to, to pivot and not just physically, but now mentally too.
Yeah. And that's what I like about that you're making decisions. But it's just like when I talk to kids, and I do a lot of motivational speaking to colleges and high schools about, their football career. So I talk to football teams, but I talk about working so good at practice that when you get to the game, it's secondhand. It's just like you're putting a DVD in there, and you already know what you're doing. You know what this next guy's doing. And the same thing, same thing goes with acting. But I also say you got to have other arenas for yourself as well. What kept my longevity. I did have a bad ankle all those years I played, but in my latter years, when I'm approaching 40, I had a second dimension. I had a second arena. I could long snap. And if I was equal ability at a guard with somebody that just came out of a Division I school, or me, guess who made the traveling squad? I I did, because I could long snap. So that, and I tell them in life, acting for me is another dimension. It's another arena that I like. It's another arena in and kind of showcase, what I can do. And it's like anything else. People tell, "Oh, you can't do that." Well, that's the last thing you want to tell me, is that I can't do something. So I'll make sure that I get it done. And it's it's not for everybody. I've seen some of my friends that try to start acting, and they just don't have the tenacity or the drive that they want to continue. You know what I'm saying? To continue into that process, because we're all going to have setbacks. We'll take two steps forward, and then sometimes we get slapped back. I mean, it's life. That's happens all the time. Happens all the time.
Just like in football, you just got to keep on pushing. Larry, where can we find you?
Uh, I'm on um, I'm on Facebook as Larry DiBartolomeo. I'm on Larry DiBartolomeo IMDb Pro. And I can give you my cell number if you want.
Well,
It's
let's not put it out. Let's not put it out there, because you never know what bill. It might be a bill
Doctor.
collector.
That's true. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, you can get all my information on my IMDb page or my Facebook page, Larry DiBartolomeo.
And folks, we'll also make sure that we put it down there. Check out the description box. I'm going to remind everybody kindly, please make sure you support and follow Larry in his adventure and all his beautiful work. Make sure, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel here. Larry, it's been a great interview. Any last words for those that are just getting their feet wet?
If you have a vision, it's just like anything else. We go back to many people in time. Martin Luther King was one of them, and I have a dream. And if you got something in your mind, and you have the facilities to do that, go for it. In sales, you ask the client for the sale, and it's not usually the first time that they say yes. It's the fifth time or sixth time. And what's the worst that can happen, Vinny? They say no. Well, you just keep trying. You just got to keep going. So don't get disgruntled. Polish your craft. If take constructive criticism. Uh, Lord knows I have in my investment business, and and what I'm doing in life. Being a father. I had a lot of stuff that I had to learn that I didn't know about. So, just don't give up, and make sure um, that you're doing the right thing. And I'll leave you with one thing that my father always told me, and I told my kids. He said, Larry, don't ever forget where you came from. Don't ever forget who helped you out along the way, and give back to those people and things that were good to you. And that's been with me forever, and my kids know that as well. And my grandkids are learning that too.
God bless you, man. Those are great words, and those are the words that we need to live by, Larry. I identify with that, because I think we come from the same old school traditional mindset. So that's a big thumbs up from me right here. And I'll tell you what, like my grandfather used to say, you never stop learning. He was in his 80s, and he says, I'm still learning.
Yeah, we always are, every day.
So, folks, you've been watching myself, Vinny from South Philly, as well as actor Larry DiBartolomeo. I had a great time, Larry. I can't wait to catch up with you again. Please let us know what you're up to, and let's make sure we're following you.
Thanks, Vinny. And when you get to Cleveland again, you make sure you look me up, because we're going to hit all the restaurants down in Little Italy.
You know what? I make sure I won't eat for like 2 days, so this way I have a nice
No,
appetite
you
for you.
only 2 days because I know every one of those guys, any one of those owners, and I'm there all the time, and they know me. So if you come to the feast, that's even better. If you see
Also,
some, huh?
I said I'm looking forward to it. I got some friends out there in Cleveland. I need to pay my respects to.
Don't forget about it. Okay.
All right, Larry.
Thanks so
Thank you
much,
again.
Vinny.
It's been my pleasure, Larry.
Pleasure.
We'll catch up with you real soon, guys. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.